Coming up this week on Virginia Dirt Pirate.
Brushy and overgrown. Looks a bit different than back in January on an old brick. Ugh. Yeah, this is some old brick here. Ooh, what is that? Button? Coin? I think it's a coin. It wasn't ringing up like a button. I think this is a coin. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Well, things are still kind of hot out here, but I've got a lot going on this week, so I'm not going to do the early morning thing. I think what I'm going to do is go out for a few hours in the late afternoon after the temperatures start to dip a little bit. I want to go to a site that I've been to a few times before and had some pretty good luck. Found some buttons, buckles, musket balls, things like that. This is a very early site. This is one of the earliest sites that I have at my disposal. This site was lived in from the mid-1700s until probably no later than the early 1800s. So this is a very early site. Anyhow, I think what I'm going to do is tomorrow I'm going to head out late afternoon and spend a few hours out there, and hopefully we won't get hit with a nasty thunderstorm or anything, but who knows? We'll see. Making my way down to the site. It's a bit brushy and overgrown. Looks a bit different than back in January. It's funny because mid-July is like the exact opposite of mid-January. In mid-January you're freezing, and I remember the temperatures were like about 10 degrees. I was trying to hunt out in that mess with the snow and everything. And now the heat index I think today is 109 degrees, and it's still very warm out right now. Anyhow, this is the old road that leads to the site. I've been down here many times before in the past. This is one of my blue chip sites. I've found a lot of mostly buttons, buckles, things like that, but everything here is colonial period. I think this may actually be a starter home for the site that I was at last week. And there are old roads that just crisscross this entire area. And I've really only explored a fraction of it. But today we're going to go right down to where the old house was and do some picking around in that area. Okay, so here's the mound. This is where the home stood, and it was probably a very impressive home at one point. Just kind of tucked away in the woods here. I've done a little bit of poking around in the area, but I need to do a whole lot more. There's all kinds of signals coming from this mound, and you can see there's a lot of brick and rock, a lot of old brick. Ugh. Yeah, this is some old brick here. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to investigate this mound, dig into it, and see what we can find. All right. This one looks a bit iffy. It's not quite on the line. I think it might be falsing, but looks good enough to go for it. So let's see what's down there. So it looks like I missed it by just a little bit. Should be right in here. All right. See if I can pull it out. Whether that's a rock or a brick or a piece of iron. Let's see. Yeah, I think this was falsing. I think that's a big piece of iron. Looks like it could be an axe head. Let's find out. Nope, not that. I don't think. Is it? Oh, I'll be damned. Okay. It is. A big old hunk of iron. Big old square hunk of iron. Okay. Alright, I'll bring that home just for the fun of it. Make sure, is that actually it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's it. Okay, we'll go ahead and tuck that away. Okay, I think we got something here. Sounds a little iffy. I think there's some iron around it. Gosh, all kinds of signals coming from here. All right, I think there's something right in there. So let's have a look. Shoe buckle frame, nice, fancy one too. All right, well that's a good start. Yeah, there's nothing new in this area. Everything that I've found has been old, at least old junk. Let's try a low tone. I hear something in there. Alright, let's try it. I don't know. It might be falsing. There's a lot of iron in this mound. Alright. I think there's something right there. Let me see. Let me dig it and see. Okay. I think it's out. Who knows? Could be a nail or something. Where was it? I heard something. I don't know. I don't have high hopes for this. I just heard something, though. God, this mound is just loaded up with stuff. Okay, I think there's something right there. Looks like 2 signals. Whatever it is, it's very small. Let me see if I can find it with the pinpointer. It is still hot out here. Oh, I got something. What is it? Where the heck is it? Oh. Ooh. Ooh, what is that? Button? Coin? Oh. What the heck is that? Huh. I think it's a button. Looks like a button. Looks like some kind of a fancy button. Let me get my phone. Okay. Don't feel a shank. I think it might be like a little piece of jewelry or something. Don't feel a shank. It's not a coin. It's fancy. I think it used to be a button, maybe. I don't know. It looks more like jewelry. All right. I'll clean it up when I get home. All right. Here's something else. Just a little ways down from the mound here, down at the base of the mound. About 3 bars down, 4 bars down. Well, it would either be a button or a shotgun shell. If it's a shotgun shell, it'll be the first one I found today. All right, right in that area. All right, it's out, and it is right in this area. There it is. That's got to be a button. Not a shotgun shell. Yep, it's a button. I can feel a shank. Yep, looks like just an ordinary flat button. Let me take a close look at it with my phone, though. See if there's any back marks on it. Wow. Shank is way off center. All right, let's take a look at it with the phone. Yep, flat button. Looks like an old one. Shank is way off center. I don't think there's any back marks on it. This is probably a late 1700s. That would be my guess. But I'll look at it a little more closely when I get home. Okay, down the hill a little bit from the mound. This is a serious high tone. This is like the first real high tone I've gotten today. I don't know, it looks weird on the readout. Let's see though. It is solid though. All right, let's dig it and see what we got. Okay, Metacore says it's out. And it should be right here. There it is. Ooh, I think that's a coin. I think it's a coin. It wasn't ringing up like a button. I think this is a coin. Oh my gosh. Okay, I do not feel a shank. Let me do some work on it, and I will get my phone out and we'll see what we have. It's a King George II, and it's in beautiful condition. Wow, I can almost see the date on it. I think I'm going to be able to get the date off it. Incredible. Well, that fits right in with the timeline of this site. The site does go back to the mid-1700s. Unbelievable. Beautiful coin. This thing's going to look really nice when I clean it up. Okay, I'd say this is a definite maybe. All right, let's dig it up and see what we got. I don't know. The visual signal says there's probably something there. Looks like there's two signals. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can fish it out. It looks like it's out. So I'm going to see if the pinpointer can spot it. All right, let's see. Damn. Heck is going on here? Okay. I cannot find this thing despite everything I tried. There it is. Oh, jeez. It's a nail. There are rosehead nails here, by the way, which kind of ring up a little weird. But I don't know whether that's what that is or not. That might be just a regular square nail. I don't know. I think it was just falsing on that one. All right, I'm going to head to another area further up the trail that is kind of related to this site. I think it's part of what used to be fields in the area. So I'm going to cut up this gully, and then we're going to head up into that area. See if there's anything interesting up in there. And after that, I think we'll call it a day. It is starting to get dark already. A little bit. All right, here's something. Not very deep. Signal looks weird. But let's try it anyway. Yep, it was weird. Falsing. A big piece of chain. Alright. I gotta get out of here. There's a storm bearing down on me. Alright, real quick, let's see what this is. Let's see. Is it out? There it is. All right. See if the pinpointer can find it real quick. Really quick. That it? That's interesting. What is that? I have no clue, but I have no time, so I'm going to sort it out later. Okay. Thunderstorms are here now. Time to go. Okay, time for the weekly wrap-up. And this week's hunt was a short hunt, but I did manage to get back to a site that I've been trying to get back to since last January. Last time that I was there, it had just snowed recently. The temperature was like 10 degrees. The ground was frozen, and I really couldn't get anything done. The digging was just too hard. So this is a site that I started going to last year, and I found about a dozen buttons there, I think, of all different types. Half of them were tombacks. Found a set of cufflinks, couple of buckles, some musket balls. So this site appears to be pretty much untouched, and everything there is old, very old. I don't think there's anything there aside from just a scattering of modern stuff. I don't think there's anything at this site past the early 1800s. But I found a few things. I don't know what this is. This might be a casing of some kind. Found one shotgun shell, a few nails. This, I don't know what this is. This is just a piece of aluminum, probably dropped by a logger. This is very interesting. This is just a big hunk of iron, a big rectangular piece of iron that looks like a brick. I don't know what this would have been used for, but it's interesting. Found a big piece of chain. This was actually found at an area nearby, which I think probably was a farm field at one point. And I found a piece of a shoe buckle. At least I think it's a shoe buckle. It's interesting because last year I found a knee buckle, which is almost exactly the same size, and found this at the same site. But I think this is probably just a small shoe buckle. Very nice though. Got some nice design on it. This, I don't know about this. It could be a piece of jewelry, or it could possibly be part of a bridal rosette. I think that there's a good chance that might be what it is. But either way, there isn't any real way of identifying it. Found one flat button. This is obviously a 1700s flat button. Shank is way off center. This is an alpha shank that is brazed directly to the button. So these were popular during the 1700s. This type of flat button. And I found a KG2 in just absolutely ridiculously nice shape. I'm not used to finding colonial coins that look like this. Usually when I find colonial coins, they look more like this, where there's kind of a shadow of a bust, you know, and if you're lucky, you can identify it. But this coin is just in ridiculously nice shape. This must have been dropped when it was practically brand new. And old King George II, he reigned from 1727 until 1760. And the date on this coin appears to be 1734. So this was a real treat. This is the first coin that I found at this site. And I don't think I'm going to do much else to it. I did a little bit of brushing on it, and I think I'm just going to leave it at that, at least for the time being. I'm kind of afraid that I might screw up the patina on it, which I've done in the past, so I think I'm just going to leave it as is, for now anyway. Anyhow, I think I may go back to this site again next week. I'm not sure yet. I might go back there and do a little bit more poking around. I'd really like to get back to the site that I found last week, which is part of a larger site, which is on the same parcel of land. But that site, I found probably about half a dozen buttons, including a military button, Virginia Staff Officers button, and a number of other very interesting things. So I think that site is untouched. So I want to get back there and do a little bit more poking around. But I will figure everything out this week. Anyhow, if you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And remember, dig it all, fill in your holes, and leave nothing but footprints.